Hey Korra fans, it's Charlie, and this is my spoiler review of that first episode of Book 2, Rebel Spirits. High five yourself if you stood in line all day like I did to see that episode. It was totally worth it. If you've ever been to Comic Con, then you understand why. But don't worry, if you didn't get to go, this is a spoiler review, so you'll get to find out everything that we know. Since we're going to be talking about spoilers, I'm also going to talk about what I think is going to happen as a result of the events of this first episode. So let's feel all the feels together and get started with our avatar training. So as the title of the episode implies, this is all about the spirits, but we really don't meet them till about halfway through the episode. It actually starts with the fire ferrets, and you can't tell, but I'm actually wearing this fire ferret shirt that I got at Comic-Con. Here, I'll put a picture of it right here. It's really awesome. Go fire ferrets. So it's totally hilarious in this big fake out moment. Bolin is giving this really rousing speech trying to get everyone psyched up, and then the camera pans out and bam, it's these two new fire ferrets. So where are Mako and Korra? It means that they're not on the fire ferrets anymore. Well, we catch up with them next. So next we find out that Mako is working with Lin Beifong as a police officer, and he has this really Batman, Batpod, Dark Knight moment where he chases down these criminal waterbenders and does this super Arnold Schwarzenegger, action hero line. It's just totally hilarious. And then later we throw to Korra, who's actually having fun. She's in this race. And if you remember last year at Comic-Con, they showed off this animatic where she basically goes into the Avatar state to win this airbending race. And it's this kind of funny moment, but Tenzin gets really upset with her and says, hey, you're not being mature enough. You need to take this more seriously. And Korra just, sticks her tongue at her. It's really, really funny. So basically when we meet them, it's this really awesome moments. You wouldn't believe how deafening it was in the auditorium. It was Ballroom 20, so it wasn't Hall H, but it was almost just as big. So everyone was basically screaming, especially when Mako took down those waterbenders. It was a lot like that scene in The Dark Knight where Batman whizzes through the 18-wheeler and flips it over and like pulls the Joker out. It was just amazing. So like I said, Tenzin is still really upset with Korra for not being super mature as an avatar. She's obviously learned the physical aspect of being the Avatar, but she hasn't really learned the more mature emotional aspects of being the Avatar. So they end up traveling to the Water Tribe, the Southern Water Tribe, and we learn a little bit more about the culture of what's going on with the waterbenders in the world now. Remember, we haven't really seen a lot of them since the original Avatar series, so a lot has changed since then, and it's really important to the story. So when they arrive, we meet Korra's father, who plays a few jokes on Mako as Korra's boyfriend. Yes, they're still together. Don't worry, shippers. They're still boyfriend and girlfriend. And we also meet Korra's uncle, who it turns out is actually in this really contentious relationship with her father. So that'll play up throughout the course of the series, but right now they kind of brush over it as we also meet the other new character, Varric, who is basically this really rich Richard Branson kind of crazy billionaire figure. He's mostly a comedic figure. It's kind of hard to tell, but Asami actually comes with them, and she and Bolin go and try to get this contract for Future Industries. Remember, after the events of Book 1, her company is basically hers now, so she's trying to keep it from going bankrupt by signing these new contracts. And Varric is basically the Richard Branson of the Avatar universe and is super rich. So naturally, Bolin helps her get this contract in this really hilarious Bolin type way. Remember, Bolin has a real weakness for women, and during some of these scenes, once you see them, I think you'll be shipping Bolin and Asami this season. They don't make out or anything, but they do have some moments that kind of lead you to believe that they have some sort of blossoming relationship, even though Bolin is probably totally going to mess it up, just like a normal boy would. Another big part of the idea of families in this episode is Tenzin's family. Remember, he's from the Water Tribe too, so Katara obviously lives in the Water Tribe still. So Tenzin travels with Bumi to the Water Tribe because Bumi has retired from the military and is basically now this kind of comedic figure in Tenzin's scenes. So I think they're going to have a lot of funny things going on this season. But we also meet Tenzin's sister, who's played by Lisa Edelstein from House. She's also really funny too, and it turns out that she used to beat the crap out of Tenzin when they were little kids. So we have these really funny Tenzin moments that I think are going to happen throughout this series, so look forward to that. All I'll say is Vacation Tenzin is a bit of a running joke throughout this first episode. So a lot of people have been asking me in the comments about Korra and Mako and where their relationship is in this season. They kind of leave off book 1 with this I love you moment, but it's very uncertain. So even though it's only 6 months later, not a lot has changed. They're still together, and they still have this very kind of high school type relationship where Mako doesn't really listen really well and Korra is super stubborn. So the scenes are a little bit funny together, even though they butt heads a lot. I think they're going to be together for the rest of the season, so I don't think you have to worry about any big breakups. So Korra's uncle, Unalaq, is actually really, really big to this episode and understanding where things are going to go, and with these, especially with these dark spirits. So we find out that he's actually the leader of the water tribe now, and he's this very traditional person. And because this is almost 60 years after the events of the first Avatar series, the world has gotten very mechanized and industrialized. So a lot has changed, and things are very modern. And they even have this festival with all these funny things and funny references. There's this really funny game where you actually have to shoot water into Child Aang's mouth. You can see a picture here, and there's plushie dolls of Appa. So Unalak is really, really upset about this, and he thinks that they need to return to very traditional ways. So I think that he's going to be using Korra to try and do that this season. And here's where it gets really interesting. So when we finally meet the dark spirits, it's actually only Unalak that can defeat them by using this new bending style that we haven't really seen yet. It almost looks like he's bending light in a certain way. But we heard about this from the series creators. They said that there's a new sub-bending style that Korra's going to be learning. I think that's what this is. And there's kind of a fuzzy image here, but you can kind of see that it looks a little bit like something we haven't really seen before. So I think they're going to explain that throughout the course of the series as Korra kind of learns how to use this new ability. We also see some images of this in the trailer with Wan, the original Avatar. He actually has this special bending style that we haven't really seen yet. So I think that that ties into that too. So it's really unfortunate, but after Unalak subdues this rebel spirit, he actually tells Korra that I'm the only one that can help you become a true Avatar and learn this new bending style. Tenzin can't help you, so come learn with me. It's kind of like Emperor Palpatine in Star Wars trying to seduce Anakin Skywalker to the dark side of the Force. I get this really creepy vibe from Unalak, but I'll talk about that in a second. What ends up happening though is that Korra, basically being very stubborn and headstrong, says, I want to learn how to do this new awesome thing. So she leaves Tenzin, and Tenzin's so sad. It's just, I felt so bad for him. You almost cried just a little bit. But I think that we're going to find out more about what's really going on with these rebel spirits once Korra starts training with Unalak. So if you remember in the clip shown off in the teaser, you actually see Wan actually basically stopping a fight between a spirit and a person. So he's basically like a neutral figure in the world of Avatar. So I think that Korra is going to learn more how to balance the spirit world and the modern mechanized world. But I think that Unalak is actually going to try and swing things back more in favor of the spirits. So if you remember in book one, it was all about getting rid of benders. And I think in this book, it's more about swinging the balance of power back into the bender's hands. But let me know what you think. Do you think that Unalak is going to turn out to be this very sinister person? Or is he just misguided? Or is it just presented in that way? And is it some sort of misdirect for some other evil person who's behind things? Personally, I think that Korra is going to find a deeper state of Avatar and learn how to balance the modern world and the spirit world into this kind of harmonious relationship. And do you think that Bolin and Asami are going to be a couple? I mean, is Bolin finally going to get a girlfriend this season? Honestly, I don't think that's going to be the case because, I mean, Bolin is kind of a funny character, and he wouldn't be nearly as funny if he wasn't constantly chasing after girls. Like I said earlier, I'm going to be doing a ton of Korra content. Be sure to subscribe to get it all. I'll be doing weekly videos once the season gets started, and I'm even probably going to do a little bit of a contest to give away some DVDs or something really cool. I'll make a special announcement when I get ready to start that, so get excited. In the meantime, if you have any more questions about Korra Book 2 or what's going to happen or what I think is going to happen this season, write them in the comments below, or you can message me on social. All the links are on my channel page. Be sure to follow me. I usually give updates about the new videos that I'm going to do if I haven't posted anything or what I'm getting ready to post. This week I'm also going to be doing a big review of the Wolverine movie with my buddy Grace Randolph of Beyond the Trailer. We'll probably post that video either Thursday night or Friday. I think we're going to be seeing the movie on Thursday, so it probably will be Friday before that video posts. Be sure to subscribe to get that too. It's going to be really exciting. There's actually a lot of really good reviews about the movie, and I recorded the whole panel, which you can find on my channel page. It's really, really awesome. They had the X-Men Days of Future Past cast there. It was crazy. While you wait for that next Korra video and to learn about my Korra contest, you can click here to watch the whole Comic-Con panel again. It was amazing. And you can click here to watch my other Comic-Con videos. I'll be posting more Comic-Con recaps as the week goes on too. So there were so many awesome things that happened. Thanks for watching. High fives. You guys are all awesome.